This is the design of procrastination, communicating about procrastination. To procrastinate is a trait of the mind which manifests delays, which manifests waiting. Procrastination is leaving something to be done later. You know, when something is before you and you say, nah, put it aside for now, I'll get to it later. Then, time goes by. Later on you realize, oh my goodness, I've put this aside, the situation has changed, now I have to get this done now, immediately, quickly, before it is too late. And often it is too late. And it gets you into a spot of trouble, procrastination. So why does procrastination exist? Procrastination is a state and a trait of the mind from a perspective of not taking action immediately in the moment when the moment arrives of something that is required to be done or given direction to. Thus, procrastination assists the mind consciousness system within human beings to, guess what, remain in the now of the unified consciousness field. Because have a look. It assists and supports the mind consciousness system in remaining in the past. How does that work? I am here. This is a moment. Now, in this moment, a person walks in and says, here is a post-it with a phone number. This person asks you to phone immediately. You're busy working. You say, take it, I'll do that later. And within that, now this moment of the person that you are supposed to be calling still exists in your mind. So, if you allow and accept that moment to pass in saying, no, I'll do that later, it means that you are preoccupying your mind and remaining in the past. Because now you're saying, okay, I'll do that later. Now you're moving on to the next moment. But that next moment is containing a moment of the past. And thus, because you didn't do it immediately and give it direction immediately, so that in that moment you apply that moment, and when that moment is done with the phone call, you move into the next moment, you're taking that moment into the next moment, which is, you have now a moment, and now you're stuck in the moment in the past. And so this starts becoming a habit of behavior in human beings' daily lives. Bringing, when a moment is here to be given direction to immediately, to instantaneously act, to fulfill this moment so that you're able to continue in the next moment, empty, clear, for the next placement of movement and direction within your world to step forth. You're taking a past moment, placing it into your moment, and therefore existing in the past, which is referred to as the now of consciousness. And thus, just from that one moment, you have now placed yourself within your mind consciousness system into the unified consciousness field of the now, as experiencing a moment here in the past. And so you start accumulating this moment until eventually later you go, oh my goodness, I have to phone this person. And when you do eventually phone this person, only then do you move out. Now during that period of time, you've existed in that moment because you didn't give that moment direction. Therefore, you've missed possibly, most definitely, many other opportunities for moments in your world to participate, direct, and experience yourself within. Thus, human beings when something arrives in your moment, give it attention and direction immediately. Act and get it done in that moment, because you're here in your moment working. There's a being coming into your moment. Now, this is one moment. Then as the being comes, say, do this. This is now before you in your moment. You give it immediate direction, thus move on to the next moment, and thus remaining here as who you are in every moment of every breath. Because if you don't do that, and you say, I'll do that later, and procrastinate, you give up that moment to exist in a past moment, within a moment, in the now of the unified consciousness field, existing in the past. Human beings do not procrastinate, because from procrastination, laziness is born. And then you develop a habit and a behavior of procrastinating constantly and continuously. And do not give you direction immediately, instantaneously, in that moment. And then it leads to not having self-discipline. Then it leads to not having self-motivation. Then it leads to not having self-will. And eventually, if you allow and accept yourself to continue in procrastination, which leads to laziness, it will manifest later in your life as depression. And this is able to occur if you constantly and continuously accept and allow yourself to procrastinate. Thus, I would suggest not to procrastinate. Apply self-discipline, self-will, self-motivation, and direct every moment in the moment as you sort out what is here in the moment and get it done. Thank you very much. This is the design of procrastination. Next will be the design of laziness, which will give you a bit of an overview of what happens if you accept and allow yourself to procrastinate. Procrastinate is also when you crash yourself in a moment. You literally crash of the expression and experience yourself as here of the breath, because you have a system crash and you crash into the now of consciousness in the unified consciousness field existing in the past. It's not where you want to be, human beings, because then you have to go through a time loop before you get out of it, which is unnecessary. Thank you very much. This is the design of procrastination.